Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So, happy Friday, sort of. Today, let's talk about what the market is doing and why Bitcoin dumped. There's more theories that are out about why it dumped, and I'm going to tell you what you should do about it. Okay, so let's get started. Welcome. The market bell, there you go, has just rung. And right now in the US, not looking so peachy. Everything, Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, all in the red. Yesterday turned very bloody. The day before turned even bloodier. If that makes sense. that actually didn't make sense. But anyways, you get my point. It's been red for quite some time. Bitcoin also, of course, last night, I talked about one theory why Bitcoin dumped. And it's due to this. Wall Street Journal did a interesting article about SpaceX and their finances, and then all of a sudden plugged in at the very last paragraph about, they sold off $400 million worth of Bitcoin, right? This sent shockwaves. People did not like that. A lot of FUD came out of this, right? Whether or not this is the true reason for the sell-off, we don't know. But definitely the timing of it correlated with that steep drop all of a sudden, right? So this was one of the working theories. Why? Because a lot of other institutions or insiders did not like it, right? But the thing is, this is still unconfirmed. I was searching through Elon's replies this morning, not one mention or rebuttal to this article. So it could be true, or maybe it's not true, but he has not answered yet. So I'm still waiting for him or someone else to confirm whether or not SpaceX did sell off all of their Bitcoin. And if so, when? Because it doesn't really say when. It might not even have been recently. Maybe it was like early in January when we were still at $15,000, right? So we don't know. But anyways, so that's reason number one. But there's also other reasons I believe at play that may be much scarier. Okay, so one of the things that's happening, and a lot of you guys have paid attention, is China is doing really bad right now. China, ever since a year ago, or maybe even more than that, has been really struggling. So recently, their central bank had to cut their interest rate. They also just did a stimulus injection, right? Their stock market is also tanking, and their largest property, let me scroll up. Their largest property developer, Evergrande, is filing for bankruptcy. They've been having problems since 2021. So it's been a couple of years. Okay, now the thing is, they had problems before. Like last year, I remember, they couldn't pay their debts, and it seemed like they would go belly up. But then, someone swooped in, China swooped in and kind of saved them, right? So this time around, I'm thinking something like that will still happen because China's in a bad shape right now. I doubt they want to just let Evergrande go belly up and cause billions upon billions of losses. But right now, Evergrande filed for U.S. bankruptcy protection. It's funny, why would they file for bankruptcy protection in the U.S.? It's because they don't want to pay their creditors that are in the U.S. That's why. It's kind of funny that way. They want to block the creditors from asking for their money, the investors from the U.S., and they're going through some restructuring and stuff like that. But according to reports, they've been struggling since mid-2021 when things were really, really hot. And that's when it started coming down. In fact, it says companies accounting for 40% of Chinese home sales have defaulted. Most of them are private property developers. 40%. Since 2021 till now, these home sales, the massive cities that have been built, they're in default right now. And mostly from property developers like Evergrande that just can't pay them, right? So this has been speculated for a long time that they're, China's, we went through kind of the same thing in 2008, 2009, right? With our mortgage debt crisis, but it seems like they're facing something much, much worse, right? So that is another reason why I think Bitcoin and markets have not been doing well, because there's fears about China's economic woes getting worse and worse and worse. They're actually in deflation right now, not even disinflation, deflation. Their CPI is measuring in the negatives right now. That's not good. No country ever wants to truly go into deflation, okay? And that's what's happening right now, right? According to Bloomberg, there's a silver lining that prices will come down worldwide, and that is true, but China's economy is very, integral, I guess, to a lot of economies in the world, including the U.S. This is where we get most of our items from, right? So that's probably another reason why, right? There's a lot of fear over China about what's going to happen. Are they going to collapse? Is their currency going to collapse, more importantly, right? What about the bonds, right? It's all tied together, very convoluted, but when you have a nation that's struggling like that, it's going to affect everything. And here's the other thing, too, that may be affecting markets, specifically Bitcoin and crypto in general, is DXY. DXY has been going up, okay? Whenever the dollar strength goes up, and this is just a one-day chart. I mean, if we go back, like, let's say 1 month here. Okay, allow. Let's do 1 month. See, I mean, for last month or so, it's been climbing. 3 months. Okay, so this is the low point, right? 99.7. That was like mid-July, and since then it's been climbing, and that's actually when everything started falling. Equities started falling, Bitcoin and crypto started falling a little bit, right? Got a little weaker because DXY started gaining strength, and it's due to other currencies losing strength. So I decided to pull up the Japanese yen for the last month. You could see going down. Even the euro last month going down. And of course, China's yuan is going down, right? So when all these currencies are losing their strength against the dollar and the dollar gets stronger, that's also when risk on assets, that's what Wall Street calls it, risk on assets start going down. So that's another reason why, Bitcoin probably fell, right? So these are all the reasons. Now, it's a combination, of course, due to all of these like FUD stories and everything else, right? There's massive panic, massive selling, and then, of course, you have massive liquidations too. Last night when I was looking at it, it was about 600 million in total liquidations. Now it's 1 billion. 1 billion. And it's for both sides too, because people are too greedy. It's not just on the long side, it's on the short side too. So bottom line is this. This is why Bitcoin dumped, right? It could be due to this story that came out of nowhere from Wall Street Journal about SpaceX dumping all their Bitcoin. It could be because Evergrande all of a sudden filed for U.S. protection or bankruptcy protection. And it could also be due to the DXY, the dollar strength going up because other currencies are just looking weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker by the minute, right? So, I mean, it's just a lot of things. And, of course, you can't ignore the massive liquidations, right? I mean, Bitcoin has been very non-volatile. In fact, volatility was at an all-time low, right? So maybe too many people start piling up their leverage longs. That could be another reason, right? But here's the thing. Despite all of this, right? Despite all the scariness, does that mean you should give up? Does that mean you should just dump it all and leave and never look back? Of course, the answer to that is no. No. CZ also chimed in on this. He's like 4 years ago, okay? 4 years ago, back in 2019, when Bitcoin fell to $3,100, okay? Keep that in mind. So we're still way higher than that, okay? But when Bitcoin fell down to 3,100, then we had a pretty good recovery. We went all the way back up to 10,000 to even 14,000. And CZ at that time tweeted, slap yourself if you sold Bitcoin under 10,000, right? The funny thing is, shortly afterwards, Bitcoin did fall below 10,000 again, all the way down to, excuse me, 3,800. So it did happen again. But on a shorter time frame, right, anything goes. There could be other disasters, other macro factors, geopolitical stuff, very scary FUD that comes out, right? But when you zoom out, you realize, well, it all passes, okay? Bitcoin continues forward and ignores all and keeps chugging away and keeps going higher, right? So that's why they say, when in doubt, zoom out. Because during the time, it's scary, right? You just don't know what's going to happen day to day, week to week, month to month. But you know what's going to happen over long periods of time with Bitcoin, right? So despite the fact that it's looking a little scary now, know that, of course, we have gone through this before, and this will pass. It always does. Okay, so not time to be panicking, not time to be panic selling. This is actually the time to do the opposite. While others are doing that, this is the time to be picking up, to DCA. You want to buy low and sell high. Kraken CEO went on TV and said the same thing. You know what? This is not time to be panicking. Actually, this has nothing to do with that. But he did go on TV and say, well, this is the time to be buying because spot Bitcoin ETF is coming. And he believes it's possible this year. And that will be absolute massive. Massive to the space. Even though Bitcoin doesn't need it, but it'll definitely accelerate things in a big way. Okay, so we got a lot to look forward to. And here's something else too. From a technical standpoint, a lot of you guys like to follow people that like to draw a lot of lines. If you break it down and look at some of the simple technical indicators, like RSI, which measures oversold or overbought levels for Bitcoin. Bitcoin on a daily chart is more oversold now. Okay, think about this for a second. Is more oversold now versus the FTX crash and versus when Bitcoin was at 15,000, that massive drop that happened, right? That's how oversold Bitcoin is right now with yesterday's drop. So from a technical standpoint, this is like screaming, buy, 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 buy. Okay? And if you're looking at patterns, you're looking at fractal patterns, you look at what happened in 2019, right, when we fell down to 3,100 and started recovering, there were many times where Bitcoin did come down and retested this trend line before heading back up. And in fact, it just did that yesterday as well. So you could argue maybe this is just all according to plan. People drawing lines know what they're talking about. Or maybe not. Or a coincidence. But I do know this. The fundamentals of Bitcoin has never been better. I've been saying that every day. Been showing you guys on-chain metrics day after day after day after day after day. Okay? Measuring holders, measuring addresses, measuring hash rate, measuring the reserve exchanges. Reserve on exchanges. Everything is pointing in the right direction, and that's upwards. Right? Fundamentals of Bitcoin has never been better. And it's just a matter of time before price catches up. It's really that simple if you break it down. All right. That's pretty much it. There's two other things. SHIB, a lot of people are looking forward to Shibarium. You know, they have some network issues going on with Shibarium, but they're announcing a $2 million insurance fund to reassure the community because there's roughly 1.7 million ETH stuck right now, and they have not unlocked it yet. So if you have your money locked in, rest assured it is insured, according to the SHIB team. And then I saw this. I mean, it's less relevant right now, but Charles Hoskinson, always eager to protect Cardano. I guess there was like a ETH maxi, I don't know, or ADA hater, however you want to define this guy, saying, my prediction is that within 6 months' time, Charles will stop talking about Hydra and then say all these things, right? And then Charles did not like that and said, it's delusional town. Hydra is live on the mainnet. Mithril is live and well. We already designed a significantly better way of handling transaction fees via tiered pricing and Babel fees. I mean, there's so many code words and stuff that Charles likes to use. I have no idea what Babel fees mean or anything like that. But anyways, Charles is saying, ignore the FUD, ignore the haters. We're developing, we're building, and that's what you're supposed to do during market weakness, right? You're supposed to be building. This is not the time to be saying, okay, we're going to hold off until the bull market comes. No, you want to build before that. And I have talked to many leaders throughout this year that are doing just that. There are a lot of development happening right now with dApps, with DeFi, with games. There's a lot of stuff being built right now. This is definitely not the time to be scared out right before the next halving event and right before the parabolic run. All right, let's do some Q&A. Well, it looks like the U.S. market is still in the red, but slightly less red. So maybe we see a recovery day. Bitcoin is coming up a little bit, 26.3. All right, let's see if I miss anything here. Oops, I just hid my chat for some reason. I don't know how to get it back. There we go, I got it back. Let's see. When am I going to start my own token? No more. I had one through this company called Rally. They created fan tokens for influencers, and then they went belly up and they disappeared. So, no, I don't think I'm going to create any more tokens. Don't want that pressure. Paul Thomas says, I'm a builder in UK. I've been DCAing. Now I'm a whole coiner and broke even coming up. Congratulations, Paul. My AC says my 100x leverage ruined me yesterday. Yeah, whenever you do any leverage above, I would say 10x, things move very quickly and you get liquidated really fast. That's why even like on a day like yesterday, you would think all the short sellers won. That's not the case. Short sellers also got wrecked yesterday too. I mean, look at that, right? 716 million longs wrecked, but also 177 million shorts wrecked too. You would figure it's just green only, right? There's no red. There's red because of people that do 100x leverage, and they still, the price goes up and down and they get liquidated. So be careful. If you're playing with leverage, Okay, you got to know what you're doing and don't be so ultra greedy. Jack, which altcoins do you recommend to buy in this dip? All the ones I've been talking about, and I'm not going to go through the whole list. But I cover a lot of big caps these days, obviously, right? I cover a lot of Bitcoin. Those are fantastic to be picking up. It also really depends on what you're holding in your portfolio, right? The coins that you believe in, if they're down, you want to bring down the cost average, or you just want to get a little more before the parabolic run. This is the time to be doing that, right? This is why it's important to have cash on the side. I've said try to have, at least for me, 20, 25, 30, even maybe 35%, even more, maybe, right? It's important to have cash so you're able to take advantage when you need to. Anthony, yes, that's right. When it comes to leverage, the only party that wins is the exchange itself offering it. It's not the shorter or the longer. It's the exchange. So keep that in mind. Any thoughts on crypto called Fetch AI? Yeah, it's a L1 that uses agents, supposedly AI agents, to make determinations. It sounds good in theory. I don't know how useful it is yet. Um, yeah, it got caught up in the AI boom earlier this year and really cooled down since then. Have you heard of what Layer 1 X is bringing to the market? No, I have not. Hey George, I've been DCA Matic and plan on doing so nonstop until the next bull run. Any reason you think I should not do that? No. I can't give you financial advice, but I do like Matic quite a lot. I do like Matic quite a lot. So, and I think Matic 2.0 and their new token that will be coming out, right, kind of unifies all their chains, and that'll be a good thing. That'll be a good thing. Some people said Ocean Protocol is better than Fetch AI. You got to realize the two are not even in the same class. They don't even compete. Ocean Protocol is more of a decentralized marketplace for AI. That's not what Fetch AI is. Just because they're both in AI space, um, and even Ocean Protocol is not really in the AI space at all. People are just associating them with AI, saying AI, data could be put in their data marketplace, but they're really two different projects. Do you think USDC is still safe given the future bank runs that could happen? Do you think it could depeg again? I guess never say never, but I think they learned their lesson and they did not put so much of their money into. They put so much of their money into one bank before, right? Silvergate, I believe. Now I think they learned that, yeah, you can't do that. You got to spread it across multiple banks. DXY is still way too high. What is the difference between overbought and oversold? I think that's pretty self-explanatory. What's the difference between buying and selling? AC, stop joking about your leverage plays. Vespa asked about Arweave. It's promising decentralized storage, but they're a L1, I believe, also. Their storage platform for Solana, and they have many dApps on their L1 too. So I know they're actually giving out grants. I talked to a project that was actually building on top of Arweave, which is surprising. You don't hear a lot about that, but yeah, I'd say I like that more than any other decentralized storage place. Let's just put it that way. Layer 1X has developed technology called X to communicate to all chains. Great. Great. So did Chainlink, and so did many other projects. Building out the infrastructure like that is great. I'm not discounting it, but what we need are dApps. Okay. Right now, it seems like there's a whole bunch of companies building a whole bunch of highways. That's what it seems to me. And the highways can connect to each other. That's what the interoperability and the bridges do, right? But they're all pretty much empty highways. We need people to actually drive on those highways, right? Those are dApps. Right now, the only dApps that really exist are DeFi plays, like liquidity providers or DEXs, maybe some NFT marketplaces, but really, we don't have any killer dApps or killer games that's actually utilizing all the empty highways. So a lot of these chains will say, well, we could scale to 1 million transactions per second. So they basically build a 1 million lane highway, but there's like one car on top of the 1 million lane highway, So when I hear about chains and claiming that they're the fastest or they could do this and that doesn't really impress me. What impresses me is how many dApps are running on top of it and utilizing that chain, right? So that's what I'm looking for. Stoner Trivia, what about Gala? They need a game on PS5 that makes players create a wallet and then buy crypto to pay for NFTs, weapons, appearance. Stoner Trivia, there are a lot of games that are being developed right now that are doing just that. They don't want to rush it because most gamers do not care about having a wallet or an NFT weapon or NFT armor or NFT anything. They don't care. They just want to play a fun game. So these game makers are getting smarter. What they're doing is just creating a Web 2 game, just something that you can log in and have fun with. And then they slowly introduce these other things, okay? Like, for example, now you can store your armor or your weapon inside this wallet, okay? And then they introduce a marketplace. And then they introduce their token, right? So they're slowly layering it in, and I think that's the right play because first and foremost, you just need to have a really fun game. All these games that are very hyped up from 2017 that say we're creating a Web3 game are still not done, right? So that's the problem. We had too many hyped up projects that promised the world, okay, and they're still not done after 5 years. So we need to go a different direction, right? Soyun. I think that's how you say it. Thanks for all that you do. I'm a whole coiner finally. Congratulations. See, some people are taking advantage and doing it right. When things are low and cheap, or you just, forget about the price, just DCA on a schedule, which is the easiest thing to do. It's the easiest way to build up your Bitcoin holding and your portfolio holdings, so that you prepare yourself for the next parabolic run, which I think is going to come second half of 2024 and all of 2025. But leading up to that, we're going to have some catalysts. We're going to have some catalysts for sure. That'll drive things faster, like spot Bitcoin ETFs. Again, when in doubt, zoom out. Are you ready to be famous in a few weeks? I hope so. Not really. Yeah, the show is coming out in a few weeks, so we'll see how it does. But it's gonna be global, played globally, and there will be. I think it's gonna bring a lot of attention to crypto. I hope the landscape improves a little bit, right, from where we are now. Obviously, leading up to that. But it's going to be a fun show. And you guys will be impressed with the projects and the contest that they had to go through. It was fun. I have not seen how any of the edited footage or anything like that, besides like the trailers, but I think it's going to be good. What's it like to be the effing man? I guess it feels pretty good. Humble brag. Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well. Greatest ever. I paid $250 for a ticket. I didn't get a discount. You should have used my link, my man. You should email the Flux team. Get somewhat of a refund, unless you bought it beforehand. But I know a lot of you guys, right? If you're in the area, and you want to learn, or you want to, meet me and others, check out Cypherpunk. I have the link. If you use the link in this video, you go get a huge discount, a massive discount, bigger than the one on the website. Okay, and this will be in Fort Lauderdale next month. This will probably be like week 3 or 4 of the show. The show is going to be 7 weeks, so this will be like midweek. And I'm going to see if I can do something about the show and get some of the contestants and judges in. Maybe we could do like a panel or something. But if you guys could come, great. It's in Fort Lauderdale. You get some sun. Hopefully it's not too cold by then. Yeah. And the link already applies the coupon code, which is massive. I've been told not to share the number, but if you click into it, you'll see it's a massive code. All right, guys. So to conclude, Bitcoin is down. The entire market is down. I gave reasons why. There's many, many, many reasons. But what should you do about it? Should you be panicking and selling at this point? I believe not. I believe that would be a mistake. You will regret it later when things recover, and they always do. When in doubt, zoom out. Okay? So, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys. Today's Friday, so I'm not going to stream tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.